the pressure of life and turning into that gem you are meant to be. Whether you like it or not, you're fucking crystal. All right, y'all, let's get into it. If you can't tell by my face and my mood, I am feeling some emotions because that last video that I recorded was extremely personal. And retelling that video or retelling my story brought all the feelings back. All the feelings back. And I couldn't record nothing else. And I'm trying to give raw, uncut videos to show the authenticity, if I said that, to show like feelings happen. You get what I'm saying? We fuck up, we make mistakes. Nobody's fucking perfect, right? That's where I'm trying to get to. Like, I'm not trying to cut, edit, chop. I'm not trying to do any of that because I'm not trying to portray something that ain't happening. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not perfect and I'm not pretending to be perfect. So, literally, everything I came to like talk about, it just, anger came back up. Anger came back up. A lot of emotions came back up because in these moments, right? And I'll just get into it. As I'm explaining, like, you know, this trial situation and the trials and tribulations I had to go through to get there, right? So when I did hire the PI, my lawyer and the Bean's lawyer both did a disposition. My lawyer did a disposition. That's when you go to court, you get evidence pretty much on the other person and you're bringing them to court to testify on the record. Like you're talking, somebody's typing it up, and what you're saying is going on record. So I did a disposition on my end because we know why. You bring in the kids around, gun waving Beans. He did a disposition on his end because I stopped following the court order. I stopped giving the kids to him. So we both get this disposition, and everyone has to be there. Me, him, and the Bean's mother. So that's when they found out I hired a PI. So when they found that out, everything was over. Everybody said what they had to say on the record. We all at the elevator, and this Bean says, yep, she hired a PI. And this Bean mother says, yeah, she's stupid just like her fucking father. So in that moment, I'm just staring this Bean down to the fucking depths of her soul because, of course, I see that she is only trying to hurt me, right? But in the midst, I'm also being conscious and mindful of my reactions to know this Bean is just mad because they got caught. So now they're acting out of anger. They're mad. And now they're hurting people, trying to hurt people. So all that Bean was trying to do was hurt me. And I wasn't going to give that Bean the satisfaction of taking my power and controlling my emotions. So I controlled my emotions, which was my anger. But I still was myself and still gave that Bean the look of, try me. Keep going. Try me. Thank the Lord Jesus. They got on the elevator. They get off. I'm walking out because, baby, I'm not avoiding any situations. I'm not avoiding no confrontations. I'm not scared of no smoke. That's just that. Like, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? When we put boundaries in place, we put these boundaries in place because we know ourselves to not let ourselves get to what we see happening around us. Like, our lives is a representation of us. St. Louis, okay? That anger, around you is a representation of you. So control your anger. And instead of trying to control someone else by fucking shooting them, control yourself and not allow someone to jump in and get you angry to where you're doing some shit like that. So in that moment, I'm controlling myself because I see what is trying to be done here, and I'm not going to allow that to happen. But the level of hurt that I'm feeling, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you don't heal from that pain, because I'm still healing. I am still healing from my father's loss. I'm still healing from my brother's loss. And every other best friend and family member and cousin, like everyone that is dying from guns. And even if it ain't from guns, just dying young, like it's hurt. It hurts. We, the ones that are left behind, we have to walk around with those feelings and those emotions. So I've been struggling the past few days because I'm trying to get a positive message across without being angry and point the finger. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to point the finger. I'm just trying to show if we're not conscious of the part that we play in the situation, then we're going to keep causing our own suffering. So I see that through. Let that be done. The situation is handled with the visitation. Now, as a year go on, the restraining order is dropped. And he dropped it because she wasn't coming around, which makes sense because it was an order in place. And I personally don't see myself running up to no fucking courthouse every year to renew a restraining order. I didn't see myself doing it in the first place, but I did because I was moving out of fear and anxiety. Let me tell y'all something else. When you're moving out of fear and anxiety, you do things that you wouldn't normally do. And that's because someone else is controlling your emotions and why you're making these moves. So I never personally bought a gun ever in my life until the age of 28, when a gun was pulled out on me. When you're exposed to that type of traumatizing shit, you feel the need to protect yourself. Like, why does anyone buy a gun in St. Louis? I'll pause. Just so y'all can think on that. Anywhere else, they're buying guns, they're going hunting. They're shooting fucking deers, birds, bears, hunting. St. Louis, if you're buying a gun, you're buying a gun to protect yourself from somebody you personally know or from another crazy motherfucker in St. Louis. So we're hunting each other. That's pretty much what we're saying to each other. We're hunting each other. And if we expect somebody outside of St. Louis to come in and save us, then we would never be saved. We will never fix the issue because it's not their problem. It's our problem. We're here. And we're having kids here, right? So where do we start? You start where you're from. You start within. So if you start within, you won't expect nobody else to come in and give you any joy and happiness, because most of the time, people from St. Louis is trying to run away from St. Louis to find their happiness. Run away and start somewhere else. And what if you don't find happiness there? Where you gonna start? You don't even know that fucking place. You got to figure it all out from scratch. Start at home. Start at home. The gun shit. Okay, never bought a gun. Moving out of fear, right? Because I know if it comes down to it, bitch, bean. So I said, because when I talk about this stuff, it does make me very my body starts reacting. Before our minds can even catch up, your body will start reacting. So it's be conscious and pay attention to your body. Our bodies be in pain and we don't even be paying attention to it. Our bodies react. When I wasn't feeling, when all this shit was going on, I was so hyper-focused on just being a mother and just trying to focus on my kids. That's what helped me not just react. That's what helped me not just flip out. Because in those situations, definitely when it's court situation and, your kids are involved and people are just doing whatever and not just paying attention to the effects of how it will affect your kids, because that is also something that I've been struggling with. When that gun was pulled out not just on him, it was put out on my daughter, on my son, and me. And my daughter was 1. She remembers that. She saw that. That affected her. She has moments where she just like, she get a little clencher, like if something too loud or something, she'll do like that. And I didn't know what it was from at first, but it took me time to even process and see how that affected my daughter. Like I was just naturally reacting like I just got to protect my kids. I just got to protect my kids. But I wasn't thinking about how emotionally, mentally that fucked with her. And that's programming. That's programming. And just how I said beforehand, y'all, how I lost my father and he made statements about my father. Okay. What happened when we was at the disposition? She did the same thing. So I can't expect nothing but like what was taught to him. I can't expect any more from him if he's just going off of the guidance that he is getting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't knock him because he doesn't even know himself enough to find his own guidance. Be your own judge. Like, if you go within, you don't allow someone else to take you off track. Say, do this, do that. Like, it's good to have other people's opinions, but at the same time, what's right for you? And if that is right for you, then that's when we again got to accept people for who they are, what they're showing us. Because if you don't, you're causing your own suffering. How are you expecting someone to give you something that they're not giving themselves? You got to give it to yourself first. If you know you're worth more than what is given to you, stop accepting it. Accept what what they're giving. Stop. You're asking someone to give you something that they can't give you. That's pretty much where I'm getting to. So I'm over here trying to process my emotions of, my father being talked about, and, I don't even want anybody talking about him because it's just like, I'm not even talking about him. And this is where I'm learning that it is important to talk about these emotions, because if you're not talking about it, if you're not expressing it, where is it going? And I wasn't doing that. And I showed you I have a huge keloid on the back of my neck, on the back of my ear, because it was so much emotional stress going on. I was like, I can't feel this shit through right now because I got to worry about providing for my kids and being mentally good for my kids. And that's the struggle of being a single parent, right? You don't even feel safe to even release your emotions and feel your emotions because you feel as if you're doing everything by yourself. And if you do that, who's going to be there to protect them and take care of them? So that's why we create these boundaries, because if we create these boundaries, it gives us a safe space to be able to trust again and feel our emotions through, so we're not looking at everyone as if they're out to fucking get us. Like, that's just pretty much what it is. Like, I just feel like here, it's so much love that we do have, but we not healing that we don't trust, and we not trusting anyone. And that's the hurt and the pain that's constantly being passed down, because hurt people are just constantly hurting people. And instead of, okay, I hurt you, I fucked up, let me take the steps to better myself, right? So this is the thing. I feel like I am very forgiving. And with me being super forgiving, I open myself up to be hurt again and again and again. And that's my fault, because I'm not seeing the part that I'm playing. And if I see the part that I'm playing, that means I have to accept what is being shown to me. So yes, you forgive, but you also be mindful that that person may make the same decision. And if they do, you got to create that emotional block. Okay, sorry. People just call and throw me off, but I'm on a roll, so I'm just like, no, fuck that. Create the emotional block and not let your emotions be involved in your decisions and how you react to it. So the restraining order gets dropped, and I do want peace. I don't see myself again running up doing that court shit. She ended up popping up at my door. So I'm like, okay, all right, cool. What I'm telling y'all is what I'm telling her. And I even bring up, I'm like, even the shit that you said about my father, I'm going to let that go. You get what I'm saying? And this is the thing. She didn't even remember she said it. That be my whole thing. When people get mad, they get so mad that they forget what they say and what they do. How are you not paying attention to the shit that's coming out of your mouth and your actions? How are you letting your emotions take over you so much to where you're not there no more? Who's there? Who's saying it? Who's doing it? Because it's coming from you on my end. So that be the part they just be like, okay, just accept it. Don't judge that person because they're not conscious of their actions. They're not mindful. So they don't even see the life that they're creating for themselves because they're not consciously creating it. If you're not conscious of it, that's your subconscious and unconscious behavior just going at it, taking control, and you're just riding. You're on for the ride, not paying attention, pretty much. So I'm like, yeah, I want peace. I don't want to do this shit. Pretty much, I'm willing to forgive, but boundaries. So she like, all right, cool, let's do that. She invited me over to Thanksgiving, and I was thinking about it, and then I had ended up letting her know I don't think that's appropriate for me. At first, when she first told me, originally, yes, I said yes, because that's just how I am. I want fucking peace. But when I sat down and I meditated, this is why I say meditation is so important. When I sat down and I quiet my mind, I was like, that's not appropriate for me because this being already accused me of stealing, and I'm not no fucking thief. So I'm not going to put myself back in a position to be accused of being a thief. So I'm going to leave it at that. All right. So let her know that. And she also understood, and we left it at that. So when she came over that day, she also kept trying to say she wanted to bring shit for the kids. And I already had an issue in the past that re-traumatized me with her saying one thing and doing another. That is a biggie for me. If you say something, stand on what you saying and do what you saying. Don't say some shit and then you don't back it up. So she like, I got all this stuff I want to give to the kids. And I'm like, listen, I just cleaned my house out. I'm making space, like getting rid of old. So I'm making space for new. I don't want none of it. And she just kept pushing for it. So I'm like, listen, okay, fine. If you want to, cool. Okay. She ended up dropping some off at my door. Why was it some adult shit? Not shit for the kids. My daughter is 2. My son is 1. It was like a size fucking 7 or 8 size shoe. I'm like, who the fuck is this for? So I ain't say nothing because my emotions, right? When it happened, it re-traumatized me from the past shit. And I had all these emotions again. So I let myself feel that before I even addressed it. And I was like, fuck it, I'm not addressing shit. I was going to avoid it. Fuck it. Don't come over here. I already said I'm going over there. So she ended up calling me, and I ended up letting her ass have it because I wasn't done processing those emotions. And I pretty much said, like, don't come over here. Don't bring nothing else over here because you say you're going to bring something for the kids and then you brought something for an adult. And she was like, I give you stuff all the time. I said, okay, well, in the past, you gave me shit. Did you ever see me wearing that? And she's like, no. And I said, that's because you never asked me what I wanted, what I prefer, what I like. You just got something and gave it to me. You didn't know my preference. You didn't know my style. So me just being nice, I just accepted it because we are raised or taught to, if someone's trying to give you something, you accept it. That's not fucking true. You accept what someone's giving you, but that don't mean you have to take it, right? No, okay? You don't have to take it. So that's what I'm choosing to do. Not take it. So you drop some shit off that's not for my kids, and you definitely didn't ask me what I wanted. That's not for me, because what I did was take that shit to Goodwill. That's exactly what I did. I just gave it away. What I was doing with the shit in my house anyways. So that brought up so many emotions, and I was just like, yeah, no, you can't come over here. I'm not going over there. And I left it at that. And she kept pressing. She kept wanting to see the kids and stuff like that. But I needed to go about it in a way that made me comfortable because that affected me as well. A gun being pulled out on me also mentally fucking affected me around this lady because I don't trust you. I feel like I have to watch myself around you, or that I may have to protect me and my kids on a whole nother level of where it ain't gonna be me or them. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I was like, I got to keep this lady away from me. If she's going to be around me, I had to meditate and I had to sit down and get in alignment with myself. It's like, if she's going to be around me, it's going to be in public. That's the only way it's going to happen. So I told her that. And now it's around Christmas time. She wanted to give gifts and she wanted to give it on Christmas. The schedule didn't work up to where we can end up meeting each other on Christmas, a few days after Christmas. I think Christmas is on Wednesday. End up being that Saturday, the only time that we can meet. So that was the date and the time we talked about, and we stuck. Well, I personally stuck to that. She tried to change it multiple times. This is the thing too, y'all. When you put boundaries in place, they don't like that, and they're going to try to get you to get out of alignment with yourself by breaking those boundaries. Never break your boundaries unless you have conditions. Like, if you're going to release a boundary, it better be with conditions. So when I said in the past he wanted me to release the restraining order on his mom, I did off the gate say no, but due time I did think about it, because of course we all want love, happiness, peace, and acceptance. So I thought about it, and I'm like, if I do release it, she needs to get therapy, but she has to get therapy first. I'm not just releasing it. Did she ever get that therapy? No. Again, accept what people are showing you, right? So I should have saw then. She's not taking those steps to evolve, own up to your mistakes, right? And say, I fucked up. I'm not trying to hurt you or the kids. Not this person hurt me, so I'm trying to hurt them, and that's why I hurt them. No, we're not making excuses. We're taking accountability, and then we're going to stop hurting each other. That's how you fix that shit, not pointing the finger. So that was the first time. This time, boundaries. Can't come to my house. I'm not going to your house. And if we're going to meet up, it's going to be on this day. This is when you can give them gifts. She wasn't happy with that. This is what this being did. She just pops up at my house. With the gifts. After we already talked, had multiple conversations, even when she tried to switch the day multiple times, because this is what happens. People can't control what's going on in their life, so they're trying to jump in your life and control what's going on in yours. No, take your power back. Don't allow people to come in, fuck with your emotions, take your power and control what you got going on. So when she showed up, she trying to give me the gifts, and I'm like, no, take the gifts and go. Pissed her off to the point where I had to call the cops to get this woman to leave. She, again, started trying to run her mouth, talk stuff, say all extra stuff to get me mad, get me to act out so she can play the victim role, or so I can be whatever the fuck you want to call it. But what you do is take yourself out of the game. How do you take yourself out of the game? Know yourself, know your emotions. Once you know your emotions, feel your emotions through, you sit down with that shit, know how you want to move forward. And when you start moving forward, that person can't emotionally jump in and try to fuck with you, because you already felt your emotions. You already know what you're feeling. You already know what's going on. You already see what they're trying to do. You can't see what somebody else is trying to do if you don't know what's going on within you. That's why we can't be mad at other people when they just follow what is passed down. Excuse me. What is passed down, okay? Because that's what I had to accept as well. I was also extremely hurt of the hurt that was just constantly being done to me and my kids. And the whole reason I waited to have kids, you get what I'm saying, I was never planning to like shield my kids from like real life, because I was exposed to real life at an early age. So I was going to always let them know what the world consists of, but I didn't want them to be exposed to like this type of level of trauma this early on, just within their own family. I want them to know of it, to be mindful, to protect themselves. You know, everyone's not out for your best interest and, you know, trying to do good by you. Like, be cautious of the people you keep around you. But at the same time, we don't want those people to be our loved ones. Like, we don't want our loved ones, like, we're hurting each other. Like, St. Louis is hurting St. Louis. Like, it ain't other cities and states coming in and fucking us up and killing each other. Like, we're killing each other. And that's the part that's like so heartbreaking. Like, when are we gonna stop and say, like, I'm not gonna let you make me do this to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna let you make me kill you. Like, because that's what's happening. You get so fucking mad that you just want to take that person out. Like, is it that serious? I mean, I really don't feel like it is, because in all reality, all it is you avoiding healing yourself. You avoiding facing your own feelings. You avoiding facing that hurt and trauma that's within you. That instead of you facing your own pain, you'd rather just put pain on somebody else. Nope. So thank you guys for listening. We just gonna keep it going, and I'm gonna figure out what we'll talk about in the next episode, because honestly, I didn't know what the fuck we was gonna talk about in this episode, because the emotions been going and flowing. But I love y'all. Like, subscribe, share, and let's try to make the community better. If you see a loved one struggling, accept it and love them. Don't judge them, okay? Because even the ones that are hurting people, they're just hurting. They're just hurting. And when you see that they're just hurting, you won't allow them to hurt you, because that's all it is. It's all it is. Take your power back, and it's have compassion for those people, because they're causing their own suffering. They're trying to cause it on you because they're hurting. So when you just take yourself out of that game, find your peace and happiness within. Can't nobody come in and take it from you. So, love you guys.